am Alan Bresnick. I'm Cable Video Practice Leader at Light Reading, and we're here talking to Dan Gledhill. Dan is Senior Vice President of Business Operations for Harmonic, and we're going to be talking about what Harmonic is doing with fiber and PON and a little bit of DOCSIS as well. So, Dan, welcome to our session here.
Hi, Alan. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about fiber to the home. What do you see as the future of fiber to the home?
Yeah, so Harmonic sees a continuation of a lot of the existing trends in fiber to the home. Mm-hmm. We're going to see broader adoption of fiber to the home in the residential areas of the United States. International will continue to pick up pace. We'll see increased billboard speeds, consumer price pressure, and ultimately we'll see the shift of consumer focus to best-in-breed home experience relative to connectivity and Wi-Fi.
Okay, thanks. So what is Harmonic's perspective on the NTIA's BEAD program, with the U.S. handing out more than $40 billion in grants and subsidies for fiber to the home providers?
We're really excited. The mission of Internet for All is a great mindset that we support. We've done thorough analysis of our portfolio to make sure that we're compliant with all of the latest and greatest NTIA language required to capture BEAD. We're really excited to see it kick off in 2024 and really start to take pace into 2025, supporting all of our operators and broadband providers, expanding the availability of broadband internet.
Yeah, it's going to be something to see over the rest of the decade as all this money goes out there and all this construction takes place. What bottlenecks does Harmonic foresee slowing the expansion of fiber to the home?
So it's going to be a challenge, right? There are tons of practical challenges around building large scale fiber to the home. It's nothing new that operators can't tackle and haven't tackled in the past. But at the end of the day, operators need to build massive amounts of fiber from point A to point B. That has physical involved efforts that take time, manpower, and materials. There's also a sort of soft challenge that they face around permitting and some of the logistics to actually execute on a build of that scale. We invest really heavily to help address those challenges with our products. We have a number of different capabilities that are specifically designed to help operators deploy more seamlessly, faster, and even at the design phase, reduce the amount of challenge that they have implementing and designing these networks to move quickly.
Okay. All right. So where does Harmonic see the industry moving in terms of standards for 25G, 50G, and 100G PON for fiber to the home delivery?
Speed comparisons are not stopping anytime soon.
Okay.
It can be a race for a differentiated speed service for forever. Ultimately, we think that all of these technologies are going to coexist, and our mission is to help operators differentiate their services with something beyond just speed. Of course, we'll play the speed game as well, but it's got to be a more flexible portfolio, more flexible implementation that goes along with the capabilities of the fast download speeds to make it something interesting to the consumers.
Okay. All right. How does Harmonic view neutral open access fiber networks being leveraged by broadband service providers without local infrastructure?
So great question. We see a lot of this already today internationally in both Europe and Latin America. We're starting to see some breaks in the US and in North America. Ultimately, sort of building out multi-tenant ecosystems is a great way for communities to accelerate fiber deployments in their areas. We've gone to great lengths to make sure that all of the technology we build facilitates and enables that. We expect to see it start picking up as competition in the US for subscriber relationships increases. And we think it's a great opportunity for fiber network owners to monetize and remonetize their fiber assets. I think it'll be really interesting to see who starts adopting that in the United States as a disruptive practice.
Yeah, it is going to be really interesting to track that over the next couple of years. We've been talking a lot about fiber and PON, but what do you see as the future of DOCSIS and how will that impact fiber to the home?
So DOCSIS and fiber to the home will coexist for the majority of my career, if not my whole career.
Okay, so they'll play together, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're seeing a really great sort of increase in pace with new DOCSIS technologies. If you're keeping track, there's new full spectrum DOCSIS 3.1 coming out, which enables much faster speeds. There's, of course, DOCSIS 4.0 on the horizon. All of these technologies will make DOCSIS plants sustainable long term and make the experience that the customer gets off of a plant very similar between both DOCSIS and fiber. We've built our technology and our entire portfolio to give operators the flexibility to manage all of those solutions and ecosystems simultaneously. It can be a street by street or even a home by home decision, whether you're building fiber, DOCSIS, DOCSIS 4.0, extended spectrum DOCSIS, whatever you'd like. And there's no reason to pick sides in that. It's really about having the options to utilize all the tools at your disposal.
Yeah, I realized you could be flexible system by system or even block by block, but I didn't realize you could even be flexible home by home and do a different architecture to different homes that way.
Yeah, we actually see that as a really big use case. It's called precision PON, and it's effectively the concept of if you have a high demand user, either a business, a gamer who really needs that next level of experience, you can actually go target an individual home, put them on their own service group so that they don't impact the rest of the subscribers. It's a really great tool. We think that it helps operators provide the best experience and reduce churn because it makes the ecosystem and the sort of the experience always best in breed, even if the operator is sort of managing a hybrid plant that's a little bit older.
Okay, thanks for going into detail on that, Dan. How can broadband service providers differentiate themselves to their subscribers?
Yeah, we spend a lot of time thinking about this.
I bet.
Ultimately, reliability is king. 5 times availability for this subscriber is absolutely critical to a consumer experience and to ensuring that you secure and retain customers. We have something like 22 million active subscribers on our system. So we've spent a lot of time battle hardening our system and building intelligent recommendation engines that sort of direct the operator to understand how their network is performing and understand how to improve it. That tool is enabling a ton of new proactive troubleshooting and refinement of the network that is helping these operators reach true 5 nines availability for the subscriber. Beyond that, you have to think about the in-home experience. You have to think about optimizing Wi-Fi with the latest and greatest, keeping up with the technology as it evolves in the home, and making sure that the experience of the network being 5 nines available is extended to the customer's experience in their home, where they're using their cell phone, iPad, and tablet, walking around, downloading all the latest and greatest apps, and of course, challenging the capability of the system with new technologies like Apple Vision Pro and virtual reality.
Okay. Putting yourself in the shoes of an operator that's deploying DOCSIS today and starting to look at fiber, what's the strategy for making that transition from DOCSIS to fiber?
So the simple answer is there is no one size fits all answer.
Oh.
There are a handful of areas that I would investigate, but I wouldn't pick a single path. I would go back to what I was talking about earlier with that granular approach. Really decide what you need to do for your network on a case by case basis. There are some pretty obvious steps that I think directly impact the customer experience. Depreciating monolithic DOCSIS CCAPs and ICMTS is beyond the operating cost of those chassis. They're bandwidth limited. They often provide the subscriber a subpar experience or limited upload speeds. Replacing them and getting a next generation virtualized cloud native infrastructure, that should be step one. Beyond that sort of simple step, start to evaluate services that are in competitive areas. As I mentioned, we do offer sort of this unique capability to have hybrid DOCSIS and fiber coexisting. Launch a full spectrum DOCSIS 3.1 service. That'll get you 8 gigabits of bandwidth on a DOCSIS network. If that is not enough, you can supplement it with precision PON and serve 10 gig PON to customers within that same service area. Between those two, you're offering sort of the leading speeds in the market across all of the different network infrastructures, and you're not necessarily wholesale changing anything out. There are probably some areas internationally where legacy technologies like GPON are sufficient. And we actually see that sustaining itself for quite some time due to the cost points, the competitive nature. Even in those areas, though, we recommend operators start looking at combo PON so that they have a path to 10 gig fiber and a path to future technologies to target specific customers who are demanding and who want that next level of speed and service.
Okay. Thanks. Bonus question. How much life do you think DOCSIS has left?
I think DOCSIS will be around for at least 7 to 10 years. Ultimately, getting 10 gig DOCSIS is a reality today, and 10 gig services are sufficient for 99% of all the customer use cases we see. I think ultimately we will start to see a tail off in a decade as operators start overbuilding themselves with fiber or replacing DOCSIS with fiber, but it's far out on the horizon that DOCSIS has quite a long life ahead of it.
Yeah, so still has a lot of legs left. Okay, very good. Well, Dan, thank you very much for your time.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Take care.
Here.